Adventures in Woodley. Adventures in Woodley.
Hello everyone and welcome to Newkirk Precinct for another replay of StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm for the Meat Lovers channel. I am Max Power, and today we have another replay of Vudo fighting Nulle, also known as the Drunk Ninja. Drunk Ninja? Well, you might ask, why do I call him Drunk Ninja? I did it on the last cast as well. And it's a nickname we have for him because Nulle consistently has terrible strategies. Consistently wins with them. They're awful. They should not beat anybody. Ever. There are even situations where he should never win, but wins anyway. Like, he is the noob destroyer. He is the noob killer. He is the destroyer of idiots. Because for some reason he always picks the one idiot strategy that should never work. That does work because the people either don't know about it or just really shit at handling it. Like, I don't know, just scan your army if you can hear the DTs is somehow a thing that's really difficult to do. Anywho, so we're on Newkirk Precinct, as I said. And Vudo is playing Terran and Nulle is playing Protoss, so they're playing their main races. And I don't think this is gonna be interesting because Nulle and Vudo are somewhat evenly matched players. Nulle's luck with Vudo's lack of that kind of makes for some interesting matches that are always incredibly confusing and are incredibly dumb. I don't think I've seen this replay before. This is from the replays that Vudo he sends me. That's why I actually cast a lot of Vudo replays, because he's really he plays a lot of games, and he is incredibly willing to look like an idiot on his own channel, which I think is brilliant. I really I mean, you know, going for the same OP strat of barracks before orbital command. Or I should say second barracks before orbital command. And those also one guy in gas. OP! And I don't know why he builds the supply depot here. Maybe they should be there, but whatever. Doesn't matter all that much because Nulle's not scouting, so really there's nothing to stop there. But anyway, so this is apparently from the same period, as far as I can tell. I don't think he's uploaded new replays for me. Probably gonna have to ask him to do that because they're pretty good fallbacks. Because it's kind of, when I look through the replays of these guys, a lot of the time I just look at the replay and I go, oh yeah, that's the game where he lost instantly because he got totally blown up by banelings. And that gets kind of boring after a while. So I tend to sort of like to, even if they're just this bad replays, I kind of like to not have experienced them before. So yeah, Nulle's going for his normal strategy of 3 gateways, use the 3 gateways for nothing, and then expand. Which is what's going to happen, I can tell you right now. And it's a terrible strategy. And somehow that should just make him lose instantly to any player that does not do that. But for some reason, Vudo is doing something like that. Don't ask me. Just don't ask me. I have no idea why. And at the same time, he's doing this weird thing where he's not teching up. He's basically going for all-in that he's not going to do. It happens a lot with these players, actually. And you can't really quite figure it out. Like, they don't seem to understand that building these extra gateways means that you're going to have to be aggressive for them to have any kind of a use. This is a very old-school strategy, although you would get the Nexus first, and then you'd get the extra gateways for defense. You don't really do that so much anymore. Due to Widow Mine drops and stuff like that these gateways cannot defend. So this is kind of a useless strategy, and doing it the opposite way, where you get the gateways first, is terrible. Because you can actually hold off a lot of stuff with your starting Stalker and Zealot, and if you notice something aggressive is coming with your Stalker, you can actually start pumping out more stuff. Or get the gateways then. You can sort of cancel this and go for 3 gateways, for example. That's actually a viable thing to do. So Vudo is scanning this, figuring out his opponent is going for an expand, and going, damn it! Christ in hell, man! He sucks. Because he has all these barracks now. Which is not going to be great, because his opponent is way ready for a barracks strike like that. Especially this one. If you don't micro this, like, a Zealot could basically destroy this. I know that's overstating it, but it's almost that bad. So he has more than enough. Like, barracks units, you really want to have more barracks units than you want to have gateway units. Otherwise this happens. You didn't even kill that one Zealot there without any micro whatsoever. He won. pretty handily. So Vudo's kind of effed. Although Nude's taking a pretty big risk at this point going double forge. I guess he's just sort of decided that he is far ahead and that whatever, man. Like, he's not seen. Like, I would check for the expansion before I did something like that. I think this is a little bit early. I mean, you know, I know. Pro players do it. But without the robo and this early, pretty risky. Especially because he barely has any income from this expand. It's going to be seriously difficult to use these, as you might have guessed, due to the not using some of them. And somehow he's making a lot of units. I think his idea is to hold this natural and get ahead that way, which is a great strategy. Only you need a pylon, forward one, and also you need to not walk up here. That's a huge fail. So basically, Nulle, by moving up there and not going back and also sending that seller to die, decided that the best solution to his fairly brilliant plan was to destroy that plan, was to debunk that plan, to make that plan totally unusable. Vudo at the same time is finally getting his command center. He's supply blocked to all hell, and he has a mule he could drop, and generally not doing too hot. Vudo's strategy is has some issues. Because now he has 5 gateways, but no tech at all. Like, he doesn't even have a Twilight Council. He's finally getting upgrades, although he's been staying idle here for almost long enough to, like, halfway go through these upgrades, so they're pretty poorly timed. And he has a lot of gas that he's not using because he's basically only making sellers. And you know, you might think, well, look, he has a lot of gateways, he can outproduce his opponent, like now he has a lot of gateways. The problem is kind of these upgrades don't really move well with a lot of gateways, necessarily. I mean, because really what you want to do if you're going for like a barracks, not barracks, a gateway all in against the Terran player, is you want to do it before the Terran players start destroying rocks and blessings. I don't know why he's doing that. Anyway, you really want to do it before the Terran player gets stim. And the Terran player had every upgrade but stim from the Tech Lab, apparently. Yeah, so that kind of sucks. But you really want to do that before stim, because stim is going to ruin your day. Really ruin your day. Even without any kind of medevacs, which obviously in Vudo style he does not have. And also that +1 attack upgrade is going to get really nasty. So Nulle's kind of doing an all-in gateway attack with upgrades. And that's not very good. Because once that's done against any kind of competent Terran player, even against this Terran player, you're gonna start to have kind of an issue dealing with this giant ball of units. He's probably gonna lose because he hasn't really been very diligent about producing stuff out of these racks. Also, again, this should probably have a tech lab. And he's using his money decently, but you can see by not teching, like neither of these players are teching, you're gonna be left with a lot of gas. Like both players have a ton of gas. It's especially weird for these races because, you know, banking gas is like something you do as a Surg player a lot. You bank gas and then you pump out a giant army of really gas heavy units. You don't do that so much as these races. Ever. Also, that's a fail. I think that makes this a pretty old replay because Vudo does not do this anymore. I'll give him that much credit. He does not do this anymore. He does not queue up buildings to 1 SCV because he knows, because I've yelled at him repeatedly, that's a terrible strategy. Absolutely awful, and you should never do it again. So yeah, Nulle is still not getting any actual tech. He's finally getting charge, but he's not following up with any extra units. He really is basically just wants to build a lot of zealots and a lot of stalkers and win his game, which shouldn't work out. But this is the Drunk Ninja, so it might very well work out perfect. Don't ask me why it works. I don't know. Everybody has a brain aneurysm when you play this guy. He's like has an aura of stupidity. If he was a Dota champion, whatever hero guy, that would be his ability, aura of stupidity, which would make the opponents like occasionally with no health just run straight at him so he could get kills. Can you hit it? Splat. That would be his power. Whereas Vudo's power would be a really genuinely nice attitude. And also the ability to lose. Terribly. Awful. Awful. So another terrible strategy. Stargate play. Now, this can actually be incredibly good against Terran players. In ultra late game. Because as it turns out, what Terran players like to do is they like to replace all their Marines with Ghosts in late game in this matchup. Because Ghosts are incredibly powerful. Turns out, Tempest are really effective against Ghosts. Really effective. They have a incredibly long range, and they can do a ton of damage, and Ghosts can't really shoot them down at all. Because Ghosts do... Yeah, that's the funny thing about Barracks units, if you don't know. Marines have the highest DPS against, you know, just everybody. Marauders out-DPS them significantly against armored units, and Ghosts out-DPS them significantly against light units. Although, when they're fighting, you know, non-armored or non-light units, they are incredibly ineffective compared to Marines. Which means that the Marine is the best all-rounder, especially against something like a heavy Stargate composition. So, definitely, I think it was, don't think it was Rain. It was one of the really impressive Korean players I saw do that strategy, and I saw him start to build Tempest, and I think even Artosis said so in the cast, that why is he building Tempest? That's not going to work at all. Clever of him to build a missile turret. And I didn't think it was going to work either. But when your opponent basically has no Marines left, those Tempests, man, they do a ton of damage. Thing is, though, Void Rays will never be very effective in this matchup. This is the second game in a row with different Protoss players, but somehow they think the counter to Marines is worse. I have no idea. So yeah, I think NulleDK is going to suffer terribly from this attack. Although the problem is, like, oh my god, these medevacs are so late. And that is a really bad double stim. It's so little help, and he moves right into all the sellers, but it's still gonna be pretty effective. That blink is, well, necessary, but bad. So yeah, now Vudo's gonna realize that he's behind the bases, but he's gonna solve that issue probably. If he just sacks this entire army and goes straight to this, which seems like that's what he's gonna do, that's a pretty solid choice. And this worker Murad should, you know, give away this expansion down here. And I don't think NulleDK has much of a choice here. I think he's going to die. Especially because his opponent is building a lot of damage. Although he seems to be able to hold this for now. Due to the no reinforcements. Yeah, that's not good. Vudo seems to have the new mentality of, I'm attacking them. And the follow-up to that is nothing. See, the thing about what, let's say, inexperienced players is that they will look at their army fighting, and they'll do nothing else. Actually, a really good thing to do is the moment of battle starts, go right back to your base, start macroing. Because looking at the battle, well, that's only going to work out if you win. And you can see Vudo actually won that battle handedly. Big time, and yet it didn't work out all that well for him. So, really, you wanna be better at that. So yeah, Vudo is accidentally moving his workers around horribly. He's not muling. He has way too few workers and way too many up here, and yeah, he's just fucking up his economy pretty badly, which I think NulleDK might end up exploiting. Still, this army composition is horribly bad. But for some reason, Vudo keeps thinking that Vikings are the way to go against Void Rays. And that's the great thing about being Terran against a air toss player, is really this guy. He's just fine. Like, look at him. He's just fine. He costs nothing. He does a ton of damage, and nothing they have is at all effective against him. Nothing in the Protoss air sort of group of units is at all effective against the Marine. None of them. And you might say, well, the Phoenix does extra damage, but yeah, the Phoenix has to lift each and every one of the Marines. And the Phoenix is what, like 3 supply or something? It's fairly expensive in supply. That's 2. But still, you're gonna have twice as many Marines as you're gonna have Phoenixes on a good day. Because Phoenixes are pretty expensive, 150 and 100 gas, as you can see. And a Marine is 50 minerals. The Marines, they're just so cost effective against anything in that composition, it's not even funny. So, as I said, the only thing Vudo needs to do is just to keep up his macro. He needs to take this base, he needs to build a lot of Marines, and say screw those Vikings because they don't do shit. And then I don't think this move out is all that great. I think you should wait till he's back. No, didn't. Although he's running out of money, but wow, this is actually starting to work out. There are only Marauders left. Wow, that Viking actually got a kill. It's kind of funny. So yeah, he needs a lot of Marines still. And he does have the capability to produce quite a few. Yeah, he does have a reactored. Yeah, so you should really stop making Marauders for the most part, because they're not going to be effective here. Because they're taking a billion damage from the Void Rays, they're taking a lot of damage from the Zealots, they're taking a lot of damage from the Immortals. They're really not good against anything in this entire competition at all. And you should not leave these active. Just saying. So, a new force is moving out, but they lost all their medevacs. No micro, and now he's making 4 Vikings at a time, which is not clever. But yeah, these Void Rays, even though Vudo's micro is shitting the bed and he's making the wrong units for the most part, these Marines are just tearing a strip through his entire army. I really don't see... Nulle is playing a lot better. He's macroing a lot better. He's making... well, terrible units, but he's getting, I think he's getting more upgrades too. Like, he should be, by all means, winning this match, but he's not really considering the units he's making. Although this counterattack is going to hurt. So he's basically sending these, I think he's sending out these Zealots to actually scout bases. Not knowing that the Zealots is actually the best unit he has in his composition right now. The Void Rays are not good against anything but the Marauders that are not effective against anything you have. Well, Stalkers now, because you're building Stalkers for some reason. I can't explain it. So yeah, Drunk Ninja has drunkenly sent his drunk Zealots up here to drunkenly look at minerals. And this is going to hurt Vudo a lot, I feel, because he has his entire army out here for no reason. And he has no medevacs, and, well, go, what am I don't wonder how long... No, he actually reacted pretty quickly. Thing is, though, they're going to take out a lot of workers, if there were a lot of workers to take out around here. I was going to say it. Vudo's problem right now is that he's being out macroed so terribly that even though he's up against an opponent, like, look at how much damage those stims did to his entire army. Like, his army is basically dead now. And this one medevac is charged with doing the healing. Like, I think he realized that. That's why he's double pumping a lot of medevacs out. Which I always love when new players do this, where they have like a lot of guys up here, so they're gonna end up building 1 out of here and 2 out of here with a lot of queued guys. Which is great. So yeah, he's not being wasteful and placing the orbital here. Clever. Enough. And finally has a somewhat forward pylon. I mean, it's not really all that different from the pylon that should be here somewhere. I don't know why there's one there. Or one here. Or no gas either. Well, actually he has a lot of gas, but that's weird. Anyway, so this is going to be interesting. Oh, that was bad micro. I don't know why you always move commands into setup. That really makes me sad to see that. 2-2 up against... Oh yeah, he has a upgrade disadvantage. Those Zealots are really tearing a strip through his army. And the Void Rays are doing not a lot. And this Thor is a terrible choice. I mean, I don't... Like, it's just a completely, in every single way, awful composition choice. Like, I don't know why he didn't just go, oh, Void Rays. I'm gonna click the, what is the button? Oh yeah, the A button. I'm gonna hold down the A button, then I'm gonna hold down the D button, and then I'm gonna hit the stem button, which is this T button, as you can tell right here, and then I'm going to fucking kill him. There's really nothing he can do about it until he ran his entire army into the zealots that were already there and lost horribly. So yeah, this should not be a win for Vudo. No way. He has the worst possible unit composition, except for the zealots, obviously, but he's only building those to get minerals. Really, why is he building those? Well, anyway. So that's it. Yeah, a game Vudo should have won, clearly. But that's sort of how it goes against the Drunk Ninja and NulleDK. He really, he really tends to win. And it somewhat pisses me off. Even though I find it utterly, utterly hilarious that he can actually defeat a player going primarily Marines with a Void Race. Well, I don't think I have anything left to say. I've been Max Power. I'm still waiting for Grand Theft Auto 5. Man, 4. God damn it. When am I that idiot from Facebook? I hope you saw that awesome Facebook pic I saw this morning of a guy who thought he'd bought Grand Theft Auto 5 for $40, and he actually got the complete edition of Grand Theft Auto 4 instead of 5. So I think I keep saying that wrong. Anyway, that was pretty hilarious, and also I felt really sad for him for like a half a second when I started laughing. Yeah, I'll be seeing you guys. I've been Max Power from the Meat Lovers channel, and I'm out. GG!